How are you doing, you crazy kids? Right, remember Silverstone 2021? That race where Strap-on put himself into the wall and Red Bull decided to vilify Sir Lewis Hamilton, make out that Sir Lewis Hamilton had driven recklessly, was desperate, had almost killed Max Verstappen. Yeah, that one, that one. Well, part 6 and probably 7 and 8 are still to come on what the media did to vilify Sir Lewis Hamilton on that one. But I just thought I'd show you this. Might be relevant. So what happened was the race got red flagged for the barrier repairs, and then they restarted the race. So whether it was the fourth lap of the Grand Prix, but they were from a standing start. So essentially, it was like the same situation all over again. Effectively, this is lap 1 of the restart. So they're all bunched up together, and they've all got to go down this straight again, and they've all got to go through COPSE corner again. And like Christian Horner and Jonathan Wheatley will tell you, everybody knows that you don't stick a wheel up the inside at COPSE. COPSE isn't the sort of corner where two cars can make it around there together. It's not an overtaking opportunity. Yeah. So we're on board with Daniel Ricciardo. So let's have a look. Oh, as he moves to the right to defend the car that's behind him. Try and take the inside line to the corner. Oh, who's creeping up alongside? Oh, somebody's kept wide and left him some space. Oh, but they've gone off track. They'll have to give that back because they didn't completely overtake it while staying on track. An Alpine. Who could that be? I wonder. Who could that be? Let's replay that. Let's before we see who that is, let's replay this and see what's going on with Daniel Ricciardo here. So he's glancing in his mirror. You can see his helmet move. Realises there's a car on his outside. So what does Daniel do? He's slowing. He's slowing. What does a car on the outside do? Did that car on the outside converge across him to try and take his line and try and hit this curb, hit the apex in front of Daniel? Or did he maintain an arc around that curve, attempting to keep her on track, but was probably going too fast and couldn't? Let me know what you think in the comments section. But we found out that a driver on the outside, okay, 50-meter board, on the outside of the track, Daniel's decelerating. You can hear that change in engine note. Daniel's starting from a much wider line than Lewis Hamilton was because Daniel wasn't forced across to the wall along that straight. Daniel is going to try and take a nice curve around here and clip the apex because he's allowed to. He's not starting here and having to cut to here to then send the corner through. Daniel's on a much better line to make it through there. But there's a car on his outside. So Daniel takes his curve to the corner and the car on the outside gives him space. Look at that. Does Fernando, having got here, go, oof, I'll just cut across there? No, you don't do that, do you? You give your opponent racing room, track space. Or is Fernando now experiencing understeer, and that car not turning as much as it anticipated? Having got to that apex of the corner, the midpoint of the corner, that car continues on in a straight line and didn't continue around the curve. Why is that? Oh, it's because you're going too fast, Fernando. Oh, I've given it away. It was Fernando, the two-time world champion, one of the greats of Formula 1. Let's have a look. You know, Fernando, the one that's still got the trophy for Singapore 2008. The one where his team cheated. So, let's see what Fernando does. Daniel pulls over to defend. Fernando goes, I'll take the outside line then instead. Look at Fernando's line. See, when Max drove this against Lewis, before it got, you know, suspended, red flag because Max had put himself into the wall, Max wasn't right over this side of the track. He didn't get himself this way. He was a car width inside this line. Watch that again with Max. Max didn't get himself to the optimum point, this racing line which the drivers would like to be on, because they like to come from this line here and cut over to the curb on the right hand side of the track to clip that as they go through that corner. That's what they like to do if they're able to do so. They don't do that, right? If there's a car on the inside. Oh, Fernando had the racing line, so he could just fuck himself across Daniel. Oh, is that right, is it? Oh no, there's a car there. They've got to afford that car track room. Crazy shit. I wonder which drivers know and understand the rules of engagement. I wonder how many strap-on superfan boys know the rules of engagement. See there? Just after the 50 board, they are then taking this line. They're beginning to turn in. You can see a steering wheel move. Okay, what does Fernando know? Let's see at the point in time where Fernando knows where he is against Daniel. So, you can see Daniel's front wing there. Fernando knows that he approximately there, they're level. So, just outside the 100-meter board, he knows they're level. So what does he know? He knows there's two cars going into that braking zone, going into that corner, going to be side by side. He needs to afford it room. That's what a two-time world champion knows about the rules of engagement. Look at Fernando's steering inputs. Is he managing that car around that curve to ensure that he doesn't collide or cut across the line of the fellow competitor? That he's considering their safety. Okay, and now this is where, because he's carrying too much speed, we get understeer, understeer, understeer. We can see that from this point onwards. Oh, that's well past the point where Max hit Lewis, isn't it? Where you're trying to claim that Lewis was understeering? Because Fernando is trying to make it around here and stay on here, but something happens. Whether it was fully understeer or whether he felt the back end twitch and he then had to counter steer to keep it in a straight line and therefore that ran him off the track. Let's go back and see if we can identify that. Let's have a look, because that steering didn't seem quite right, so let's double check. I don't want to be giving you disinformation. Let's see if we can work this one out. Can't tell for sure. Only Fernando knows why he felt the need to steer left, taking himself off the track there. But he went off the track, realised he'd not been able to remain on track in performing that overtaking manoeuvre. Therefore, he yielded and made sure that position was given back so that he didn't receive a penalty. He didn't get his team on the radio for F1 TV to broadcast to a world to say, oh, yeah, that's not fair. Track limits, track limits, track limits. But the moment I go off track to take a position, they penalise me. They make me give it back. No, because Fernando knows the rules of Formula One. He's done over 300 Grand Prix. Just like he knew the rules in Abu Dhabi as well. When just one lap into a safety car period, he's suggesting that he should unlap. Well, did you know, Fernando? Quite an experienced guy. You know that you don't just unlap after one lap. What was the plan there, Fernando? Let us know what you think in the comments section, please, Fernando, as you give this place back. There you go. Ease off the throttle, let him through, then we crack on. Not rocket science, is it, chicken? Right. The joys of Formula One and explaining the intricacies of basics of racing to twats. Anyway, thanks for your time. See you in a bit.